Octas have the ability to revolutionize your portrait photography, so let's take a look at 5 different ways that you can use them to take stunning images. The first setup is what I call BFL, or Big Flat Light. The idea is to get the biggest Octa that you have and place it directly behind you, facing straight at your subject. To demonstrate how to set it up along with the results, Katelyn is here to help us out. Be sure to give her a follow on Instagram, which will be linked in the description of this video. For this BFL setup, I'm using the large Westcott Rapid Box Switch Octa, which is 48 inches in size, along with the Westcott iLighter 2. Having the Octa right behind me might appear to be blocking the light, but what's amazing here is how the light actually wraps around me and beautifully lights Katelyn. To further enhance the setup, I added the iLighter just below her face to fill in the shadows a bit and also add some interesting catch lights in her eyes. Here are the results from this setup. The image on the left was what I got straight from the camera with no post-processing, and the image on the right is what it looks like after it's been fully edited and retouched. For this next setup, which I call the overhead fill, I'll take a large Octa and place it just above my subject's head. With the ceiling being a little bit low at my studio, I'm not able to have the model stand up, but if you have the space that allows for that, then it's also a great option. Here I had Katelyn sit down on an Apple box, which worked out nicely. With the large Octa overhead providing a nice soft fill, I added a second Octa as my main light to bring up the exposure on her face. This is a useful setup for model test shoots, and it provides a beautiful soft light that will flatter pretty much anyone. Here's a few images taken with this setup. Keep in mind that if you're shooting in RAW, you'll be able to adjust the exposure in post-production, but the quality of light that you're getting from the Octa will be the important ingredient for these shots. This next one I've used a lot over the years to create a natural light look using studio lighting. Let's call it the BLB, or Backlight Bounce. The idea here is to take an Octa, which in this case is a smaller 26-inch version, and place it behind your background. Then you'll want to place white V-flats in front of your subject, or if you have a white wall, that could work fine too. Having the V-flats are useful as you're able to bounce a lot more light to illuminate your subject. The large panels also make a nice catch light in the eyes and gives you a nice soft skin effect. Most importantly, since the light is coming from behind the model, it acts as a hair light, helping to separate your subject from the background. Check out the results we got using just one small Octa. Now these next 2 setups are some of my bread and butter setups that I use for beauty photography as well as for taking headshots. The first one of the 2 is a butterfly style lighting using a large Octa. Having such a large light source relatively close to your subject's face will give you a soft skin effect in camera, which saves a bunch of time in post-processing. I ended up using the iLighter 2 once again to bounce some of that light and fill in the shadows a bit, and also to add some nice highlights to her hair. If you're shooting in a space that's a little bit smaller, you could definitely get away with using a medium-sized Octa to get something that looks similar. Here's what we ended up with using this setup. So this next setup is similar to the last one, but it gives you a little bit more control of your fill light. Clamshell lighting using 2 lights gives you the ultimate flexibility since you can dial the power of the fill light to taste. Here I use the smaller Octa with the FJ400 to add the slightest little bit of fill. It barely shows up in the catch lights, but the impact on the overall image makes this one of my favorite setups of all time. Check out the results here using this setup. And if you're wanting to learn more about using various light modifiers for your studio work, check out the playlist that you see here on the screen. See you there.